So, with that, and without further ado, we're going to stay in a topic that is very relevant for many of how AI and technology can improve the health of all of us. And with that, we have a particularly great speaker. We have Jonathan Oakes. He is a VP of Product Management and User Experience for Google's Fitbit business unit, a product that I'm sure many of you are familiar and hopefully many of you are using on a regular basis. He's responsible for defining the product roadmap and user experience that that delivers on Fitbit's vision to help everybody in the world to become even healthier. And as many of you know, Fitbit has a strong presence in Romania, so it's particularly great to show him how powerful of a tech ecosystem is, and maybe convince him to open an office in Cluj as well. So if you guys do all very well, I'm sure we'll see much more of Jonathan in the future. And Jonathan joined Fitbit in 2016, where he led Fitbit's entry into the smartwatch category, drove new health features like ECG and sleep score, and he launched Fitbit Premium. And his talk will share a little bit on the insights how Google is powering health and fitness products. And with that, and without further ado, please give a super warm welcome to Jonathan.
All right, my original idea was to turn this into a 25-minute calisthenic class, get everyone up, do some jumping jacks, but instead you're going to have to listen to me for a little bit. So I will give you some health advice as we go through today's presentation. I'm super excited to be in Cluj today. I've been to Romania many times, my first time here, looking forward to checking out the city and everything it has to offer. And what I'm going to talk about today is the way that devices and sensors combined with very powerful algorithms and then AI and large language models are coming together to power a pretty bright future for health and fitness. And as I get into this, I want to start out and remind everyone of Fitbit's vision. And that is to help everyone in the world become healthier. It's a very audacious vision. It's a big vision, but it's something that inspires our team in the work we do every day. And I'll give you two numbers that you should hold in your head as we talk today. The first is that over 1 billion people in the world suffer from a metabolic disorder. And so that could be something like hypertension, high blood pressure, or diabetes, or obesity. And of that 1 billion, 80% could be solved, prevented, mitigated through lifestyle changes. Changes like being more active, exercising, eating healthier foods. And so when we do our work, we focus on how we can make people healthier through those small changes in their day-to-day behaviors that can result in a better health outcome. And so another reminder, how many of you knew that Fitbit was acquired by Google? Some of you, not everyone knows this. So just an important update for you. We were acquired in 2021, and it's been great to be part of Google. And you got to see the very inspiring work from Yossi and the work that Google's doing, and we're able to leverage that for the health and fitness work that we're doing as a part of Google. And so the combination of these two together gives us what we think is a winning mixture, which is the help and helpfulness of Google and health by Fitbit. So, as promised, what I'll talk about today is all these innovations we're making in devices and advanced sensors, and those are useful, but they're only really useful if we have powerful algorithms behind them that are really powering them. And then when we bring all of these together, we have these very hungry AI and LLM models. They're hungry for data to inform them. And so we're able to feed them an extraordinary amount of information. And the result of that is being able to give very personalized guidance and motivation to our customers to get healthier. So I'll take you on the way back journey as we get into this. So think about a decade ago. I'm sure many of you had a Fitbit or some other wearable, and it was a relatively simple device. Felt advanced at the time, but it was largely tracking steps. And the ability to then fast forward to adding heart rate, adding more advanced sensors, unlocked a whole new swath of insights about your health. Also take yourself back to the way that your health data was treated. Your health data was locked in silos. So you would have a suite of individual apps. You might be tracking your calories, you might be tracking your steps, and your health records were locked away, often in a filing cabinet, and if they were digitized, they were in a silo. They were not accessible to you. And we've seen that change to where we have robust privacy-first APIs that allow the sharing of health information across different apps. And because of a lot of regulatory changes, there are a deep opening going on of your medical records that you're in control of, but now have access to digitally. The other piece that's happened is that 10 years ago, when we looked for health information, we looked for expert information. People went to WebMD, they went to Dr. Google to try to figure out what was going on. But that's now become a place where people are expecting much more personalized information that's informed by what we know about them, their age, their conditions, et cetera. And so taking it back to this first part, where we need to have powerful hardware to power this ecosystem. And I work in what's called the devices and services product area, so that's where Fitbit rolls into. Our partners are the Pixel phone team, and also make the Pixel Buds, the Fold that we recently announced, and also Nest is our other partner. And so we're continuing to make our devices more useful, more helpful, and more ubiquitous throughout your home, throughout your day, and carry them with you. And that's only valuable if we can do more with the data we're collecting and do it in a safe and privacy-first way. So to talk about that more, I'll show the Fitbit current lineup, but I'll take you way, way back in the Wayback Machine to the founding of Fitbit and where it came from, very relevant to this conversation. So in 2006, the Nintendo Wii came out, and the Wii caught the attention of our co-founders, James and Eric, and it was a very interesting product because it did two things. The first is it was a very novel application of an accelerometer. It was putting it into a game controller and making a whole new form of gameplay out of it. The other thing that happened is people who were gamers, who probably were like sitting on the couch, having some potato chips and playing their games, suddenly were standing up and getting very active and moving around. And that was because of this interaction with this motion sensing, with this inertial motion sensing capability that came in the controller. And so as James and Eric looked at this, they said, how can we apply a sensor technology like that? How can we put it on your wrist? How can we have it with you 24/7? And then even more importantly, how could we change users' behavior to make them more active? So those are the key ingredients of what got Fitbit off the ground. It was really the novel application of a sensor technology and then building very powerful algorithms around it to be able to distinguish between me moving my arm like this or actually taking a step. And as you can see here, we've come a long way. So Coming through 2015, we added heart rate to our products. And as we get into the current state, we've added a number of advanced sensors. So we've added ECG, so electrocardiograms, so we can tell you if you have a potentially life-threatening heart condition, like a heart arrhythmia. And we've also added a really cool sensor, something called a continuous electrodermal activity sensor. And what that does is it notices when you're showing signs of physiological stress. That could be from moisture and trying to present to 2,000 people when you have jet lag. I'm just trying to see if I have an indicator right now. Nothing's showing up. I think I'm good. But it actually will give you an alert that you may have a stressful moment happening. And then that ties very directly to the rest of our product line so that you can do things like take a mindful moment, interact with our content around mindfulness. And then all of this ladders up to what is ultimately the customer benefit. And going back to that vision statement and getting people to become more active, getting them to make better choices about their food, about their activity, is really what it's all about. And that manifests itself on the wrist, and it also manifests itself in the Fitbit mobile app and goes with you throughout your day. And so these are the big areas that we focus on. The first one is to help people move more. And if anyone's used a Fitbit, you know about the reminder to move, to just have you get up at least once an hour and move around and get your circulation going. We're going to do that with this group by the end. It helps you sleep better by understanding what's happening with your sleep. What kind of sleeper are you, and how can you have better sleep hygiene? How can you be less stressed out, and how can you get alerts to know that you're in a stressful situation so you can do something about it? And then we also think of ourselves almost like a seatbelt, something that you want to have with you 24/7, because this is how you'll know if something's happening, if something's changed in your health that you should be aware of, like having an abnormally high or low resting heart rate or having a serious condition like a heart arrhythmia. So I want to do a bit of a deep dive into the way that we used machine learning to improve the heart rate on the Pixel Watch. We launched the Pixel Watch in 2022, just almost a year ago. And that was the first product that was really the culmination of Fitbit becoming a part of Google. We worked very closely with the Wear OS team as our platform partner. And we were able to bring the best of Google into that product with Google Maps, Google Wallet, Google Assistant, but also the best of Fitbit came in. And we brought all of our health and fitness capabilities to the Pixel Watch. But one thing we knew we needed to nail with this product was highly accurate heart rate. And so that was one of our key product goals. And when we thought about the best way to accomplish that, we decided that machine learning would be the tool that would help us achieve our goals. So we did a few things. The first is we called for help. We went around Google to find the machine learning experts within the company to get their support and assistance. And you got to hear from Yossi about the research teams and all the exciting work they're doing. We're able to leverage some of their machine learning experts. We went to different product teams around the company. And I think people know that Google is a very collaborative company and collaborative environment. And we wouldn't have succeeded without the help and support of all of these other teams. So we got together and we said, we want to make the most accurate heart rate. How do we use machine learning to do that? And it's a challenging problem. As much as we started in 2015 with this, we still knew there was plenty of room for improvement to continue to make algorithms that were more advanced and more powerful, more capable. And we also know that getting heart rate to be accurate is challenging because people are wearing their devices differently. They are, at times, they're riding a bike, they're maybe mountain biking, and that will change the signal that's coming in from that PPG sensor, that flashing green light on the back of your smartwatch or tracker. We also know that motion plays a role, that people moving around a lot and being very active can actually change the nature of the signal quite a bit. But we also wanted to make sure that we were bringing in all types of users, that we represented our full user population, people who have different activity levels, people who have different body types, people who have different skin tones. And so as we were designing this program, we wanted to make sure it was very open in that way. And so here's a good view. This is raw data that's come into us into what's called a spectrogram. And we're able to then see what the signal is that came in from the heart rate sensor. And so if you look at this plot, it's looking at time across the x-axis, and it's looking at heart rate beats per minute on the y. And it's kind of a mess. It's hard to make sense of what could possibly be going on here with this heart rate. And so we do a lot of work to denoise, and just so you understand the color coding, the warmer colors show that there's a stronger signal. The cooler colors show that there's a lighter signal. And so what did we do? We basically decided to inform this model we needed really strong, robust ground truth data. So I talked about all those different user types that we wanted to access, and we brought all of those types of users into the test pool so that we would have signal of what ground truth looked like in all these different circumstances, all these different cases. And we fed that into the model. I will do no justice to the computer science that happened over many months, but the team went off and they continually honed this model. And as we were testing it, we could start seeing the results in the builds that were coming out from the team. And then ultimately, when we launched the product, getting towards the launch, we were seeing that we were very close to ground truth, and we were able to train the model to do that for us. So this is an overlay where now you can see how the algorithm performed and what its relationship to ground truth was ultimately. And the result was we did get credit from some very challenging, difficult critics. So we knew that they would put the product through the paces. We knew they would run a lot of comparison tests to ground truth and other products. And we were extremely pleased with the results that we got. So I want to now shift gears a bit and talk about AI. I think Yassi's presentation was unbelievable, extremely inspiring about all of the opportunity. I'm with him in having a positive outlook on what this can mean for all of us. And we'll talk about what could enable that to happen. The MedPalm 2 that we talked about, we can see how this could be applied to the health and fitness domain in very meaningful ways. And to have an AI system that is trained in this very domain-specific area so that it can pass at an expert level a medical board exam, we think about how that same thing could be applied to fitness coaching or nutrition coaching, and the authority that we could have in giving someone a recommendation about how to improve their health. And for anyone who watched the Google I/O videos, it was amazing as an event. And you could see all of this culmination of 10 years of Google's research and development coming into the products, and some exciting opportunities from cloud that were announced as well, so that everyone here can start interacting with Google's powerful tools and technology. But we also see the Pixel products as the best surface to experience personalized AI. And so that's what we're working on as a team, harnessing this power of all of that sensor data we're collecting, these powerful algorithms, and then at the highest level, putting that into something that users can interact with, so they're getting extremely personalized guidance and motivation to make them healthier. Now, to make this all work, we have one really important platform aspect that has to be true, and that is that we have to live up to our responsible AI commitments as a company, that we approach all of the work with responsible AI in mind, and that we have a privacy-first mindset, that this data belongs to the user, and it's our job to protect it and tell them how it's being used or shared. And one reminder, in the acquisition of Fitbit by Google, we made a pledge that we would not use health data for ads, period. So I want to talk a little bit about our presence in Romania. And so this is the Fitbit layout globally. We have offices throughout the US, in Asia, in multiple sites, and then our three main sites in Europe are London, Bucharest, and Warsaw. We actually do have several employees who are based in Cluj who work here remotely. So this is a hub for us also for employment. And Google Romania is a great story for us. As an office, it's extremely vibrant. They work on very important projects. And the way this came about is kind of interesting, which is in 2016, we acquired a company called VectorWatch. And I think the founder is in the room somewhere. I don't know, Andre, if you're here. But thank you so much for helping us really establish ourselves here in Romania, and that founding team that came over was a real nucleus to help us bring in talent in Romania. And so now across Google, we have over 350 employees in Romania across our business unit, cloud, and other areas. And we cover a number of disciplines, including engineering, product management, user experience, as well as business and global administrative functions. And as far as the platforms and ecosystems that we're building within Fitbit, these are our core products. These are, we're doing work around the embedded software, the user-facing aspects of our trackers and watches, and then our smart watches with the Pixel Watch, as well as a good bit of our mobile application development. And so with that, I will conclude and give you all a big thank you. And as promised, I'm going to give you your one health tip. So we talked about this making everyone in the world healthier. I think that comes from a lot of little steps, people making small changes in what they do. So something everyone can do and tell your loved ones to do is take a walk after a meal. It's very simple, but it's clinically shown that you can reduce your blood glucose level by taking even a 2 to 5 minute walk within an hour after a meal. So that's your closing tip for the day, and thank you so much. It was really a joy to be here. See ya.